Alright, good afternoon, everybody. Today is December 3rd, it's 4 p.m. This is the Lunenburg Water District Commissioners meeting. We're going to start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to review and sign some warrants here. There's a couple floating around. Some minutes.
How you doing? How you doing?
This week's I just had to switch. I forgot to put in holiday pay for Thanksgiving, so I had that for you to sign.
Oh, okay.
And then, everybody put in their grades too. Yeah,
Yeah.
BJ's joking. Friends, split his up for all of us.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Can I get my D1, T1 and get?
Christie, what do you got? D1?
And T1.
Yeah, you need to get your D2. Yeah, a lot of towns, the office has to get licensed too.
It's not a bad thing.
No,
I am,
you know
I
how
am,
that comes.
I'll show you now, from my position, you know, this is, I'm one of you, but I will pay education tuition fees to people that want it any day of the week, as long as they.
Yeah.
Anybody can
Hey, you
get
know,
it.
the water district appreciates your donations.
That's just me. Right.
No, I agree.
No, I
You know,
think
like, if anybody would ever
I think
want.
it-
Oops, sorry.
It benefits, no, I think it benefits the customers too,
Yeah.
having everybody in the office know and.
Right. I'm just for even other stuff in general, if anybody's interested. I support that. I'm gonna go out on a limb and saying the others would too.
So can I tell you that the tire stores must be selling a lot of winter tires right now, because the amount of cars I saw just spinning their wheels on all the
I
roads.
saw some beauties last night, beauties. When they fly by me on the highway, and then they're in the median, give them a two.
Did you see the picture of that trailer truck jackknifing on the highway out in the Midwest somewhere?
You know,
Guy be in front of him had a camera. Man, what a mess he made.
uh,
How about the one that went over and they had to rescue? It took-
I didn't see that.
Wow.
Yeah.
great. Do we have the schedule, Christie?
I do, it's,
Oh.
yeah,
We might have it.
sorry, you guys just have to initial it, it's basically the second and fourth Wednesdays, always the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month, other than, because of the holidays, November we do one, in December we do the first
Mhm.
and the third. That's basically it.
Okay, I'll let those guys catch up.
Do they all have the schedule, or just?
No, sorry, I didn't make copies, it's,
You guys wanna see the
I
schedule?
don't know if, yeah,
Johnson,
Just like
what-
this year.
yeah, it's the same, it's
It's
the
on
same.
Wednesday.
It's a, yeah, Wednesdays,
It's
the
on
second,
Wednesday when Christie texted me on a Monday.
second and fourth every month, other than November and December.
I like this first.
I wanna just make one comment about this thing.
What is that thing?
This is about the Woodlands lawyer.
Is this the meeting minutes? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm just so the public knows.
The Woodlands lawyer. Who the hell does he think he is?
He thinks he's a lawyer.
Yeah, but he's telling us that he has to have a letter from the DEP who told us to get the kayaks off of there, but he has to have a letter first
All right.
He don't have to
I
have.
tell you
it.
what, I appreciate that comment, and we're gonna revisit that on item 6, as that's on our agenda today. And
Good,
we're gonna dive right into that.
okay, I appreciate that, that's good for me.
Okay, hold that thought.
Oh, well, I have been holding it now for about 2 years.
Yeah, I appreciate your passion.
Okay. Really?
That was a pretty good way to say that. Why don't you take a peruse of these? This is our schedule for next year. Make sure you're available for those dates.
Oh, I'll be here, yeah, with open arms.
I have never seen you come here with open arms, John.
Did you want that?
Do we all have to initial it, Christie?
Yes,
Yeah, we
please,
do.
yeah, just
Sorry.
finish on the bottom.
I was just trying to be efficient here, John rushed it.
Oh, I don't ever remember initialing it, that's why I didn't.
Do they have to vote to approve those too?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we approve the minutes of October 22nd and the 2026 meeting schedule, all in one fell swoop.
Love it. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's a great job, Mr. Crouch, I really like it.
I'm working on my motion making.
What you would do.
There
All
we
right,
go.
so,
Nice.
third item on our agenda was to approve the Water Board Commissioners 2026 meeting schedule, which we have just done. Next thing we have is review costs associated with the Roland Acres water main replacement. So this is just, I think this is great.
Yeah, so you have all the paperwork, I mean, that's the exact cost of
Yep.
everything. Different commissioners, different ideas of what the true cost was.
Correct,
So one
yeah.
was how much it actually cost us to put out.
Yep.
And one was how much was it for our labor also, so both of them are there. So
Yeah.
with the materials, 166,000, with all the labor that was involved to
Right.
do was 250.
So yeah, basically what we just had a discussion, we won't say argument, about, you know, the true cost of this, and, you know, they did some other engineering or, you know, pricing if we had hired this out, and it's close to $600,000 to have this job done, you know, according to the current bids and pricing that we've been
From
getting.
2023 pricing, from a previous bid, so we used those.
So, basically, you know, it cost us $166,774 to do this job. And that's not factoring what we normally pay our employees anyway, and if you factored in what we pay the employees that were here anyway, it's $250,000. But I think that's just a huge savings, getting that job done. I think everybody did great. I think we learned a lot. I think the guys had a good sense of, you know, ownership in that project, and I just thought that was great. Everybody did really good. It was a nice project. It was in a nice location.
Yeah.
Wasn't any real obstacles other than a huge rock.
Rock and a lot of very deep. The house services was 7 to 8 feet deep, so that it had its tough sections.
Wow, why were they so deep?
Because there was a 2 foot or 3 foot culvert pipe in the middle of the road.
Okay.
They could not go over it. They had to
They
go
had to go
underneath it.
under.
So they were
Okay.
very deep to get underneath it. Because we looked at it like, well, we're not going 7 to 8 feet deep. Let's
Yeah.
skip it. And
Yeah.
like, well, we'll just put a whole new line across the street.
Yeah.
And like, well, we can't. We gotta go
Yeah.
7 to 8 feet too. So the rock and the services, they're very deep. Even the mains were deep, so when we needed to tire on it,
Right.
it wasn't easy, but sometimes that was good. It helped us to stay away from it, so
Right.
it is good.
I thought it was great that you guys got it done too while conducting normal business. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a good project.
Yep, so it's a job that took way longer than if we hired somebody, but we, like you said, we got our regular job to do.
Right.
And we had days of, like, it was just me and PJ there, you
Yeah.
know, so it was good, you
Yeah.
know, I enjoyed it.
One's
And then you can see on the next page was the cost, like you mentioned, if we bid it out.
Sure.
But you also need to think in there that there's labor involved in that too, that isn't accounted, because we got inspectors there.
You're correct, yes.
You know, people. you know,
It's not
tie
100%
cards.
hands off even when we hire somebody.
Exactly.
We're there too, so.
Right.
Yeah, it just, the whole thing made sense, and I was really, Fran, very good job on doing that initial breakdown of like, hey, this is what I wanna do, this is what I think it's gonna, the timeframes and stuff. And of course, you know, we knew it wouldn't be like to the T.
Right.
But it was a very good, I like going into projects like that with a game plan. Hey, we wanna do this X, we're gonna need this, I feel that we should be able to do X amount of feet a day, and, you know, you shoot for that goal. And I just thought it worked out great, I thought it was very good for the guys too, especially some of the new ones that have never seen a chlorinating a water pipe, huh? You know, just the little
Well,
things.
even a little more like putting hydrant extensions on, because
Yep.
the hydrant, because it was so deep.
Sure.
To put extensions on.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot, tapping the main, you know,
Mhm.
they did 2 taps before, now they
Right.
just did 16. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so everything's much more comfortable and easier for them to, you know, do down the future projects.
yeah, I could go on forever, great
Mr.
job.
Chair, I'd like to, you know, we saved $300,000 for the district, we could save more money, we should take that 300 and invest it in a rubber-tired excavator, a nice new 10-wheeler, and we could keep doing this stuff.
I'm not opposed, I just need a little more.
I do
I know.
think
I did-
this would be a benefit. Fran and I were talking about after we finish this, that, I mean, not only this one project, but to be able to invest, I think, hiring, I know we talked about hiring somebody for this fiscal year, but I think it would be worth bringing them in, if we're gonna continue these projects, bringing in another person, late winter, early spring, get them going, possibly looking at
If
stuff.
that's what we're thinking, I think interviews should be taking place pretty quick.
Yeah,
Get
to
started.
be for winter time, I don't know, I think that's worth it, cause I know you talked about already wanting to finish up Meadow Lane, maybe in the
Yeah, I'm already
spring,
looking
you
at-
know, and
Yeah,
You know,
finish in
piping,
the
how to
loop,
do
yeah.
that, where to end it, stuff like
Yep.
that, so.
so, I do think it's, seeing the numbers now, I
Yeah.
think it's something we'll keep pushing for,
We should start to try to put something together as what the annual expenses would be to do that, because we're gonna need to present that at
Yeah.
a meeting.
what the annual expenses of what would be.
If we're
we-
hiring specifically for that, what type of equipment we're gonna need.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's
Oh, yeah.
where we talked about before, coming up like a 3 or 5 year plan, what we're looking to spend.
Okay,
And, you know, we've already seen that if we're doing something in-house, there's savings.
yeah,
And, you know, we're gonna have to replace the mains at some point because they all are aged out. So there's no getting away from it, and I'd hate to be under the gun and have to spend the extra money for the engineering and having other companies come in and do the work because everything starts failing all at once,
okay,
so.
start putting that
Good.
together,
Good
Yeah,
work.
I can work on that, yeah.
yep,
I agree, I think it would help us, push that forward a little,
Yep.
you know.
This helps
Yeah.
a lot, just to be able to show
Yep.
this type of report to the public.
Yep.
You know, we did the project for half,
Right. And under our,
less than half.
yeah, under our own rules, you know what I'm saying, under our own schedule. And sometimes you hire contractors out, things get delayed, things get pushed. I thought this was great, I really would, I thought it was fun. It was fun to stop by and see you guys, everybody work on it, it was good.
Yeah, you know what, it's everybody.
Yeah.
You know, depending who was available, whatever day,
Yep, yep.
you know, pulling people from everywhere, so that's
So.
good.
Okay, next thing we got, anything else on that?
Nope.
Next thing we got is review and update the draft of the community engagement survey. I know we've been kinda,
Is this a final,
No.
pretty much? No. it's
Uh,
gonna
we,
be
Well,
more.
we think it's a final.
yeah,
So, I mean, we took comments from residents,
Everybody,
and, all 3 options are there.
so we basically went through, talked with Ty and Bond, we changed a couple of things, in here, but basically, instead of
Loan mill?
showing all of the potential option, you know, instead of showing
take a look
one
at it,
whole
sure.
thing that went across, actually, I
Yeah.
think I have the old one.
yeah, no. I
That
know-
went across,
Right, yeah.
it had all, you know, different scenarios, well, what if we did, just Lancaster, what if we just did this?
Mhm.
This is, well, here's our 3 main water sources, Keatings, Hickory Hills, Lancaster.
Yeah.
Here's what we get out of them, that's that first page.
Correct.
And then the
Then the
next
second.
page breaks down the 3 options and why those are the 3 main options.
Mhm.
So, I don't know, kinda, you know, all the first part's pretty much the same, just getting a feel for what people think of the water, the taste, the odor, the pressure, that kind of stuff. So it was just the new one that Fran put together for the options.
When we looked at, I'm looking at the page that talks about the options and the value of the options. And the zero interest, that was based on if we got the funding that we had except we were approved for, is that what that number is?
You're looking at what option?
Net present value, 30 years at 0% interest?
Yep,
Is that was if we, that was with the,
the SRF funding.
right.
Yep,
I thought, and it says not applicable on Lancaster Ave, but I thought with the way we were gonna do it, we were gonna be able to, make it as one project?
that's it, that you're looking at option one, right? That's if we did Keating's and Lancaster Ave, that's not available. The only way we could have Lancaster Ave included is if it's associated with Hickory Hills.
Right, no, I'm looking at there's just says Keating Well, Hickory Hills Well, and Lancaster Ave wells. And when you, didn't we have an option to tie them both together?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
the option-
sorry.
Okay, yes, all right.
Yes, so we
I just-
acquired the funding for
Oh,
Hickory
I'm
Hills.
sorry, I was looking at a
Yes.
different.
And then we tied Lancaster to it, and DEP was on board with.
With that, and
Yes.
that's when we were
Residents
gonna.
didn't believe us.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't aware of this, but I actually applied for SRF funding. Got
Okay.
Hickory Hills and Lancaster Ave together, so it's one project. No idea if it's gonna pass.
Okay.
It really wasn't a huge expense from Time Bond, they said it's already there, all we do is resubmit the information.
Yep.
So they resubmitted it, so I don't know how
Tying
that'll
the
work.
two together, that's the, option two, okay. I'm trying,
It'll be-
I just didn't,
Yeah, I'm looking at that, I think that was,
Yes,
if
option.
we only did
okay,
one of those separate, is that
Okay.
what you're looking at, each one? Yeah, the only
Yeah.
one that
Yeah, so the only,
was approved was.
yeah, so they don't, when you look at them individually, the only one that's capable of meeting the needs of the town is Keating's.
right,
But the hardness would be
right.
horrible, I
Yeah.
mean, that people would go nuts with that. So that's not an option by itself either.
These are looking at, this page is looking at individual projects.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that it goes through to each one of them is not capable for Lunenburg individually. So then it goes to the next page with options. So you do these two as an option, these two, or these three.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, option three is the best of all. Then we can satisfy the hot water issues. Everybody's happy. And depending how the SRF funding goes, if we do get lucky and win the grant for that, then all we need is a raw water transmission main to Keating's.
Yeah,
And we're talking about buying an excavator, we do it ourselves.
and then we do one plant.
One grant. We lose the redundancy kind of thing, but my thinking on that is we can design it, cause some of the wells on Lancaster Ave do not need PFAS treatment.
Yes.
So we can keep them going through the plant, get rid of the iron manganese, and then we say, hey, something's wrong, pump them direct.
If something happened catastrophic with that plant, as far as redundancy goes, there still would be the capability, we would definitely have a pretty big water restriction in town.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand during the summertime, those wells do not produce nearly enough, but they still do produce something, enough that if it was,
Yeah.
water for
Something
toilet
happened.
flushing and cooking only,
Yep.
we,
Yeah.
Correct.
we may be in a better situation.
yep.
All right, do we want to do anything with this? Do we wanna?
I don't know,
Do
do
you
you
wanna-
guys wanna,
Put it out and get opinion kickback, or you guys?
I would
just-
love to, yeah, I mean, yeah, I wanna put it open.
Didn't, Nicole have like something that's gonna put this information together for us, or do you have something that once if we get the feedback? How,
once the survey goes out,
yeah, when we're getting the answers back,
oh, yeah, she's gonna be
Oh,
able
yeah,
to
she's
see,
on,
yeah.
we've actually been talking with
Oh,
her
yeah,
about
yeah.
this.
so, and she's happy with this at this point? as well?
Yes, she
doesn't
came,
have any
we
questions?
sent her a few things, said, update it with this.
Mhm.
Fran tweaked one of the paragraphs to make it
Mm-hmm.
better. So between the two, all of us, we think this is a pretty good final draft, so she said let her know. So I think this is when it was, what were we doing? We were doing QR codes, we were doing the postcard
One
mailer,
Yep.
yep.
And then the website with all the information on
Yep.
it with the QR code would bring you to
Yep.
that website with the survey.
Yep. Yes, and then as it comes in, that's why you would put your, your name and address.
Right.
And that was more for, we're looking for one answer per household, so that somebody couldn't get on and fill out the survey 10 times. I don't know, I think it's something that we should try to finalize. I know we've kind of gone through it a
I
bunch,
feel like
because I
we've batted
think,
this back and forth, and like I said, I think it,
well, we're kind of moving forward with
Right.
funding and stuff.
right, I really like to get this out here. I feel it's the best version that it can be. I understand that there's arguments to be made one way or another, but at the end of the day, it's just a survey. We're doing this to get the heartbeat of the town. When we get this back with the answers, we'll have a better idea of how to steer our ship to say, as we move forward with it. So I would really like to finalize this thing and get it out, because that was the whole point of this. I mean, we started this process at least 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's been a
At
while.
least, you know.
Yeah,
So. You guys are on board with it.
yeah, about 5 months ago.
Okay, so you wanna leave it as it is, we'll go through, we'll do
Yeah.
capital strategic, we'll finalize, we'll set it
Yeah.
up as a final. And, once it's ready to go, we'll have you guys approve the final.
Sure.
That's ready to go, and.
Yeah, maybe if she gives us a draft of the mailer,
Yep.
Yeah.
gives us drafts
Yeah.
of everything, this
Yep.
is, or even a hypothetical draft of the website, alright,
Understood.
look here,
Yep.
go here, alright,
Yeah, before we, pay the
Yep.
bill, yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's move forward with that.
All right.
All right, the next thing we have is discuss Woodlands condo trust lawyers. Letter regarding the removal of the kayak rack. All right, I'm going to just give a quick summary for the public and everybody here to know what this is about, where we're at. Earlier this year, back in February, we had received complaints from residents that there were some violations of the Zone 1 at the Hickory Hills well site, which is in the Woodlands area over there. We had a meeting with some representation from the Woodlands. They brought their attorney, even though we didn't really, we didn't bring ours. It wasn't supposed to be that type of meeting. It was supposed to be a very, almost a neighborly meeting. Myself, Fran and Christie went down there, talked with them, and there was a couple of violations that were there. Vehicles in the Zone 1, there was some possible pesticide use or whatever in that area. We discussed it with them, had a very productive meeting. And the other thing on there was the kayak racks, which are currently located within the Zone 1, which they're not allowed to be by the zoning, Zone 1 law. Their lawyer was there. He sent a follow-up letter to that meeting and acknowledged all the stuff that we talked about. And while there, they said, hey, if we got a letter from the DEP that said, it's okay to leave these kayak racks here, could we leave them here? And I said, I don't have a problem with that if you get a letter from DEP saying that it's okay to be in the Zone 1. So we left it at that. I had a response from their attorney on February 5th saying, it says in his writing, unless the Woodwards could obtain a waiver or permission from DEP to keep them in the current location. If the EP gives permission, the Lunenburg Water District has no issues with them, which is true. Well, since this time, and this was supposed to be resolved by May 1st. Well, May 1st has come and gone. There was never a letter from DEP saying, yes, you can leave them there. Over the summer, they had hired a hydro, I don't want to call it geologist, Mr. Scott Horsey, a hydrology summer, saying, as an independent guy, saying that, no, I don't see a problem with these kayak racks here. They came back to us and said, no, we're gonna leave them because we have this, assessment done. Once again, the response to them is like in our original meeting, I need the letter from DEP saying you can leave them there. The letter from DEP not only is not there, but we've had DEP visit there and said that you can't. We don't have a physical letter saying you can't from DEP yet, but
Verbal.
Verbal,
From the head person.
verbal from head permission, but more importantly, from the Woodlands end, you don't have a letter saying you can keep them there. So, we now have gone through our attorney and had spending money on this, which is just this is all so simple to solve, and we don't need to waste any money on this. Requesting them to move their kayaks. There's a couple racks that you can move within 20 minutes out of this Zone 1. It's a very simple thing. They are refusing to do it. So, you gotta understand from the Zone 1 protection falls under the responsibility of this body right here. It's us at this table that is responsible for this. So we just can't not do anything, because we wouldn't be doing our due diligence as water department, you know, personnel and commissions. So we will be continuing to push this forward, and if we need to unfortunately spend money to do it, we're gonna have to, because we just can't leave it there. I truly wish somebody at the Woodlands would contact us and explain to me why you just don't move the racks. It's so simple. We can wrap our hands up of this and be done with it. But if they don't get moved, we will be forced to take legal action. I mean, more than likely, we'll end up costing them quite a bit of money, because if we do have to go take further action on this, we're gonna hold them liable for these costs. This is a simple fix. But we are prepared to push this thing as far as it needs to be, because we have to. So, that's where I sit with that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
a couple things. The Horsley guy that they hired, has he produced a report that we have that says his feelings why they can leave the kayak racks there?
Yes, he did in that letter in April.
Yes, I read that letter.
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
just basically,
Yeah,
he said he feels that they could be left there, which is, you know, I mean, that's
his opinion.
But
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, the last sanitary survey we had, DEP noted that the kayaks are within the zone 1.
correct.
And the only, I see another discrepancy in the letter from the attorney. In part, the kayak racks were in place when the easement was granted. I didn't think the place was even built when the easement was
No,
granted.
there was not, that's totally
Okay.
not true.
So there was never permission, there was never a letter asking for permission to put the rack within the zone 1, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And if you can go on Google Earth, you can see when the rack wasn't there.
And, Mr. Chair, you met with the people down there, and in your opinion, I mean, I'm guessing that, did you even offer the district's help them move the rack?
I mean, I did, but like I said, it's a very simple thing, you know. In the
But
meeting that we
but
had-
with what you saw when down there, Fran, is there another location that's
they sent a potential
Yeah,
location.
they already have a place mapped out to move them. It's just, this is like quibbling over something so simple to fix. And
Some of the concerns DEP has, the kayaks don't get there, they don't walk them there, they're driving there. So there are concerns of other violations that are taking place because of the kayaks.
Right.
It seems like a simple fix. I would hope that, you know, through our discussion tonight, and maybe some of the residents see this, they just move the rack.
Right.
I mean, there's no need to cost the district, the rest of the district takers more money and all this back and forth, because
Right.
other than one person's opinion, I see multiple things that say they shouldn't be there.
Right, and at the bottom line, if you really just took this down to a black and white scenario, you can really go down a rabbit hole. There was here, or this guy says this. We had a meeting. It was discussed that these are the options. Those options were not met. Let's just move the rack. It's,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to go any further, but you know, if we really got into it, so I could pull up the DEP Zone 1 rules and regulations, and I mean, it's clear as day written in there what it is.
And
So-
it's
our job.
our duty to enforce the regulations of our regulating authority.
So,
DEP is our boss.
DEP sets forth the regulations that
They're
we have to
our boss.
follow
Correct.
through.
They're our
How we,
governing-
how much water we take, how we
And
treat the
they-
water,
and
how we
and
treat
they
the
tell
areas.
us that
Right.
the racks shouldn't be there. Now, I don't care if the Woodlands gets the Pope down there to say that they can leave them there. That don't matter to me. DEP says they gotta go, and it's up to us to get them out of there.
very true.
And if the Woodlands don't get them out of there like they should, be decent taxpayers, decent citizens, decent people, and just move them. I mean, right now, as far as I'm concerned, their word is useless. They don't stand behind anything they say. They didn't stand behind what they said at the meeting, and now they're changing their tune again. You can't believe anything they tell you, at least I don't believe anything they tell me. From way back, we wanna work with you. I heard that, and I'm sick and tired of listening to that. We wanna work with you. It's in there again in one of the last paragraphs, and not those particular words, but, you know?
Oh, no, it's that particular word.
Yeah, let me just put a couple
Exactly.
words
The
in.
Lunenburg Water District's current unreasonable demand is disappointing after the Woodlands worked this year in good faith and expeditiously to address 3 or 4 other issues, which is great.
Yeah.
We need to address all the issues, unfortunately.
And they want a positive and constructive working relationship with us. I mean, how many lies can you put in a piece of paper and not stand behind them? If you're gonna lie about it, come in here and lie to our face, don't put it in a piece of paper.
Yeah, well, the attorney put it in the paper, they didn't
Yeah,
want,
well,
to talk to us.
they told him what to say, he knows what the deal is. But one thing, he's never seen the Woodlands, he don't know what's down there or anything about it, he don't even know where
No,
it
he
is.
might have visited once or twice, pick up a check.
Hey, I
I'm
don't
good with
care.
this, I think we've hammered on it, but, other than, I don't know what, to say, other than, geez, we should send it to our attorney and spend more money.
So that's your actions. You got, because I spoke to DEP,
Mhm.
and DEP said that they're not gonna tell them, they're gonna tell us.
Right, exactly, as,
So our attorney said our options are to take it to court.
Let me just say one more thing, and then I'm gonna shut my big mouth. This is gonna go to court. We're gonna spend a ton of money, they're gonna spend a ton of money. The only thing is, the money we're gonna spend is their money, because it comes from their water payments. So they're gonna spend money of their own, and they're gonna spend money that they've already paid us. And I wanna know where the other 2,000 rate takers, water takers are in this town, that they just sit back on their cans, never come in here and say anything, never come to our meetings and vote. All it would take is a few decent voters, vote these fools out of our lives, and all of us can move on. But nobody ever comes to our meetings. What is wrong with you people? You know, just come in and vote. That's all you gotta do. It takes 10 minutes.
all right.
Mr. Chair, I have one more question for the superintendent regarding this situation. If we don't do anything and DEP tells us we have to do anything, does DEP, will they end up fining us, or will they end up telling us that they won't continue to? How-
They'll
what-
issue
what-
an
what-
order.
Yeah.
There's a special word for the order.
Mhm.
And we need to take into account that this was brought to DEP by them. They brought
Right.
this. They went to the public hearing. They all went on TV. There was 3 or 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff is going on in Zone 1, and they brought it there for us to lose the well because they're doing all this in Zone 1, and it doesn't work that way. You're gonna stop everything you're doing in the Zone 1. And so they brought this to DEP.
Exactly.
So DEP came back because of that.
Right.
So all actions taking place because they brought it there. They brought the golf carts. Oh, we can do the golf carts. No, you can't. Boom, they're gone. So everything they brought there gets tossed away. So, yeah. So this one.
But
you
how does
remove the
this
guy,
affect us with DEP if we don't resolve this situation?
They'll issue an order of order of compliance. There's a special wording that it's the same thing's going to happen with the PFAS. If we don't treat the PFAS, they're going to say you must do this.
Well, I hope they do it quickly so we can move on with this. Let DEP come in here and tell us whatever's gonna happen.
We don't need that, though, we
No,
know.
but they're
you know-
forcing us, they're forcing
Well,
the issue.
Right.
They're
Yeah, but-
pushing
well,
us into
At
it.
this, now we are going to force this issue. If they are not gonna work with us just to simply resolve it, which could be done in about 20 minutes, I am fully prepared to resolve this through lawyers and everything else, because I don't want the DEP order, it's happening anyway. You know what I'm saying? So let's
Right.
just push this thing forward and
Get
them out of there. And,
Yeah,
and
let's
then,
get
and then
it
we can just
done.
move on with life. And people can come in and vote.
Right,
Okay.
come in and vote, it's simple.
Anything else
Do
on that?
do we have anything in our bylaws means, I know that if a ratepayer doesn't pay their water bill, we can shut them off. Is there anything, if they are not in compliance with a water district regulation, that we can shut the ratepayer off?
That is a good question, Mr. Bursch, and I think it's something we should look into.
Okay.
Now, who could give us that answer?
We can,
We'd have to look into our
We
bylaws,
can
so
look at-
I'd like to have the clerk treasurer just kind of take a look. I mean, I'm not gonna put you on the spot for our next
Yeah,
meeting.
definitely look
Yeah.
after,
See if there's,
yeah.
if we have anything in place, because, you know,
We'll be in the
if somebody, you know,
Violates or whatever,
if we-
right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we only have, this is the only spot that we don't physically own, we have an easement on,
Mhm.
but, you know, somebody goes in there and puts a tin shed up, what do we have for
Right.
recourse on whatever actions that are done?
It's a good idea, we'll take a look into that, for sure. Anything else, Mr. Esposito?
No, I don't,
All right.
not at this particular.
On
moment.
Well,
on
there's
this,
still,
I'm
there's,
good.
there's still other opportunities coming up for you.
No,
All right,
I'll wait.
Commissioner, Superintendent, Clerk Treasurer
I
Additional.
just got one, it's kinda tied to what you guys are talking about on the voting, getting the people to come in and vote. I'm wondering if we can talk to KP, the council, and see, is there a way for the people to vote other than maybe by ballot or paper vote, something where they could just check how do they wanna vote, because for them to come to the meeting, which sometimes get dragged out, you're at the high school.
Oh,
Could
yeah,
be
yeah,
an hour,
right.
hour for them just to get there and sit down, could we have a vote on paper kind of thing?
I would definitely be in favor of, I'd be curious for that, if you, well, let's say you had open voting for a day or two, but to me, it still would absolutely have to be individuals coming to this building, voting on paper
Yes.
ballot,
And
something to
drop-
that
yeah,
effect. You know,
Full
like-
check-in, just like the
Full, just
same
like, yeah,
process,
just
you're
like
ready
you
to
do.
vote or.
But yeah, if you had that, I mean, if you had the voting open, let's say, I'm just making this up, but like Thursday and Friday before the
Yeah.
meeting, I think you'd find a lot of people would be like, yeah, I'll stop by and vote, because this Saturday I got a kid's soccer game, and, you know, they didn't.
And it's an unknown, you know, meetings at 10.
Right.
All right, so you get here for 9:45, but you're not getting in till 11.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And we have to wait till everybody gets here.
Yeah,
Right.
And then you could be sitting here for 3 hours with all the questions, duplicate questions, 10 of them. saying,
Sure,
you know,
oh, right, yeah, we go through it every year.
Yeah, so I mean, so that's the thing, so I mean, if we could limit, hey, I already know how I wanna vote,
Right,
all right, drop in a paper, done.
You could,
no, that's you.
I'll shut that thing off.
you could also check with the town.
I guess I can shut it off and
The town has the same problem. You know, it's the same 100 people that show up at town meeting
Oh.
unless you have a special interest.
Yeah, so I, in my opinion, we can't do it, but I think we should ask and see.
I'd be curious, I think, you know, see what they say. I think it's a great idea, but, you know,
Yeah.
legally, I just definitely wanna make sure that that is
yeah.
to the T. I agree with you, I know there's many people that would, but, you know, some people go snowmobiling all weekend or something like that, and, you know, they're not out, so.
And some people are afraid to let their neighbors know how.
Oh,
to vote.
there's definitely a portion of that too.
There's a vengeful bunch in
There's
this
a-
town,
there's
believe
a-
me.
There's definitely a bit of a peer pressure
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, so all that was the voting, and the other thing was, I kinda mentioned that the SRF funding, Time Bond did that application for us, so, you know, they said it wasn't a lot of money to submit it.
Yeah.
And mostly my thinking was that, the concerns were that the two wells weren't put together for the funding, now they're together. So if
Yeah.
it's approved, those two are together. And, this was the last year for the infrastructure money to be there, so
Correct.
I kinda thought it was a good thing. Throw it in, if we don't get it, no big deal, but it didn't hurt to put it in. Time One said that all the application was already there,
Yeah,
and all they had to do was just
Resubmit
resubmit, so it didn't cost a whole lot. But they did say there's other expenses that, from things that have taken place, you know, communication, public communication, stuff like that. So they said they're working on a new invoice, and we'll get that for next week. Okay, Mike John? I'm not gonna answer it though.
We should keep track of every
Yeah.
penny we spend on fighting this issue, so we know at the end how much it costs us.
It doesn't, you know, it's the same thing within the town, they do all these studies and then it comes to it and like Marshall Park gets voted down. You know, it's such a good idea and then, oh my God, it's gonna cost me money, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, just gotta have our due diligence and keep working.
This is a different story. This is drinking water. This is not hitting a baseball around the field.
Yeah, but it's still when it comes to spending money.
It's gonna be huge money,
yeah.
Yeah,
no matter
Oh, yeah.
how it gets done, it's gonna get done.
And it's getting
Right.
huger
And
every
this-
year.
To do the zero interest loan was saving, you know, $20-30 million to do the zero interest, so, there are, you know, you start looking at all the options, to me, that's the best way, you know? And, the only one that qualifies that, Hickory Hills has to tie to it. Or you could get well number 5, and that's it, though, but.
In my tenure as a commissioner, I have never doubted your ability to try to find the most cost-effective way to do anything for the district.
Sure.
And you've done a
That's why I like
outstanding job.
I'm actually pretty cheap.
Your wife told me that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, another thing to note, Fran
Oh, you don't have to bring it up.
has been here for 40 years.
Oh my.
As of
40
yesterday.
as of yesterday.
I won't ask
40.
you how you feel about that, because you probably have mixed
I'll
emotions.
say the same thing. I didn't wanna work here. When I find a better job, I'm gonna leave. And, I mean, a little history. I came in as a meter reader.
Yep.
And then moved up from there, you know, to the assistant and to the superintendent, so. Back to you with the paying for education, I mean, I went to Pittsburgh State for years, you
Yeah.
know, to, you know, the business side, because to me, being in the head position, it's business, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I learned all the stuff from the bottom up, so I knew, you know, you go to a lot of towns, the superintendent say, hey, go tap a main, they don't have to tap a main.
Yeah.
You know, they can't, but, so I did, I mean, I read the meters, I went before they were even on the outside, so I mean,
On
things
your
have-
bicycle.
Yeah, ride the dinosaur back
Things
in the
have changed,
day.
you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've seen everything, I mean, now with the computers and now it's so much more, on the paperwork side of things. You know, with the DEP, the end of the year report was 1 page, now it's like 50.
Yeah.
You know, everything's much more detailed and, a little more stressful.
You've done a good job, McNamara.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still, once I find a better job, I'm
Yeah.
moving on, so.
Well, it's a lot to say. There's a lot of thought put into that. The fact that you can not only physically do the job, you know, but there's I think people, and I never realized it, how much paperwork and reports
Yeah.
and filing in this is there's a wealth of knowledge in there. So
I can't even tell you how many contractors will come in, hey, I'm working on this. Do you remember when this line came in? Do you remember where? And I can't
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you how many contractors or projects go in or new tie-ins and I'll go, yeah, it was over here, it was over, so I mean, just that.
I called them. He's like, no, it's on this side of the street, but down the end it's a mess over there. Don't touch that.
See, so
So,
it's,
so when I got out of high school, I went to college for computers. I was a big computer freak. I had a computer at home before we actually had one at the water district. So my old boss would have me go home, the same actual monthly reports I do now,
Yeah.
I created at home. He would send me home for lunch, take a long lunch, and do all the reports. I did them all at home.
Yep.
So then when he left and they were moving me up to his position, they're like, well, he's not gonna know how to do any of this stuff. He's like, you kidding me? He's been doing it for 15 years. You know? So I did all the same. I did.
Yeah.
So, that's a good job.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot to be said, I'm just thinking to myself, like, department heads in the town of Lunenburg and their tenure, I can never even imagine one that has had 40 years.
Jeez, yeah. I can't even find one that's 10.
Nobody will work in this
Well-
town for 40 years.
Fire chief's close. He
Yeah.
got on very young, and
Yeah.
so that's one way.
I suppose yeah. But no, it's good job, Fran.
Yeah.
A few more to go. A few more years.
Might find a real job.
I'm all set, I don't have anything, Mr. Chair.
Me too.
Do you have anything? Do you have any public comment?
Just a quick, this is great. Paul Grunich, 35 John Street. Just a corrective criticism. If you make this out,
What are we
there's
talking
the survey,
about?
the
The
survey.
survey,
Oh,
yep.
okay, yes, yes.
Where could I put comments in?
That'll be at the very
They'll
end.
be at the very
The
end.
very
Yep.
end?
There'll be a
Yep,
section
I
for
think there
comments.
was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
I didn't see it, so that's why I thought
Nope.
it'd be nice enough to ask.
It'll probably be on a computer, you know what those are, Paul?
Yes, I do, yep. I carry one with me all the
I
time.
will make sure, I don't see it on this
No,
draft,
no,
but I
it's-
remember
it's a
talking to her
corrective
about
thing.
it, yeah.
And do you want, on the name and the address, would you want a contact number, maybe? A cell phone or a home phone? And the other suggestion would be a Gmail, So in other words, if someone has a lot to say and they want to reply,
Right.
it would make it a little bit easier to contact that person.
Now,
That's
that's
all.
actually not a bad idea.
I like
If we put that just voluntarily, if you'd like to fill this out,
Not
and can we
required, yeah.
take that information and store it with the water department?
Yeah.
Like, for example, when we have a known water outage or something, or someone meters, like we've done this, we put notes
Oh,
on
yeah.
doors, like, oh, we couldn't
We
get a
couldn't
hold of you.
call 'em, yeah.
So if, is it possible for
Yep.
those who want to volunteer that information?
Yeah,
To collect that
required.
information?
Name and address.
Okay, name
I-
and
I-
address?
I like it too, so if someone has all this information and they're completely out of line, if they
Right.
give their information so we can contact them back and
Right.
discuss
this is
it with
what
them
we're-
and
yeah.
explain
Yeah.
it better, or maybe sit
Yep.
down with them.
Invite them
I
to the
think
next
that-
meeting.
Yeah.
I think that
How's
would,
that?
would be a good,
Okay.
good
You know?
option to everybody, and anybody who's listening now.
And
If
maybe-
questions, so come on in.
All right, and on the comments, is there any other questions that, they have, feel free to come to the next meeting,
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
How's that? Okay?
Perfect.
Yep.
But this
Appreciate it,
is, this is very good. Nice job.
Mr. Emke?
Yeah, hi. I had a couple of congratulations.
Thanks.
I had a couple of questions. On the survey, I had set my own, we'll call it layperson's view of the O and M costs of comparing the two options. I mean, this difference in O and M between Hickory Hills and Lancaster and Keating and Lancaster is like a 15% difference. And, I went through and I did a rather conservative look at those two, and I sent that to you, and it's I thought it made sense. I don't know whether you had a chance to look at it or whether you share that with Ty and Bond.
I did,
But-
and we went through quite a bit of it, and I don't remember their details of why they said those numbers, but they were pretty confident in them.
Do they have line item expenses for their O and M costs? That, I mean, the point is, it's not like $10. When I looked at it, if you recall, the whole argument was that there's some fixed cost that doesn't make any difference. It doesn't matter what system you have. Then there's variable costs, how much it actually takes to run the system. Systems, usually the variable costs run from 50% to 70% of the total costs of the operating maintenance. That's where the differentiation comes between this operating system and that, the higher PFAS versus the lower PFAS. Basically, it comes to that. And it comes out to be a big difference. And so anyway, that's my concern. I would love, if they have this, I mean, I would stand corrected, not a problem. But I would really like to see how they came up, not with just the one number. Take any baseline you want. I use the baseline 240K. And then I said, based on that baseline 240K and the difference between the variable and the fixed costs, I came up with, as I said, a much higher number. I would stand corrected, no problem, but I would personally like to see how they come up with those costs. I would feel better. So that was.
So
what
when I had spoke to them, they said there's a lot of variables, like the PFAS, they said that's not the whole,
No.
and then there was they said it's all the other things in the water that causes the filters to get plugged up quicker. And then it was, the backwash. I know you keep pushing the iron and manganese is much higher at Hickory than any of the others. The iron and manganese is pretty much the bad thing of the higher amounts is you just need the backwash more. So there's no real expense to it.
So, I mean, I'm a public person here. I'm a resident. I'm not over there. But I looked at all the iron and manganese treatment plants, and I look at all of them. But baselined it, and that's the number I put in there.
Okay.
For a. I don't know if I have it here or not, but I itemized it for you. It was something like a 60K or something like that, which includes the backwash. And, yes, it was for. I think it was for a 500,000 gallon a day system. For iron and manganese, but that was a minor part of it. That wasn't the big part. And it's just that this is a lot of money, and just to say there's a lot of other things,
Yeah.
it doesn't cover it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things, but I mean, I would personally like to see what are those other things and how much do they cost? Because there are a lot of, I took the conservative view in the numbers I had sent you. The conservative, I didn't use the 70% for the variable cost. I used 50% for the variable costs. And that's a kind of analysis I expect they were doing, but yeah, they could go in a lot deeper, but I have a feeling they didn't go any deeper. I have a feeling they were higher. They're a much higher level. The point is, if it's not 240, but if it's 400 and something, I mean, that's a lot big difference.
Well, so you're just comparing the
The O&M costs between two, I don't know about option 3, what that would be, I didn't look at it. But between option 1 and option 2 is a 15% differential. And it just,
All right, well, I don't wanna put too many kinks in this, but if you look at the Hickory Hills and Lancaster one, the 0% interest,
no,
I
operating
know, but
maintenance.
that'll trump any extra expenses by
Which is
millions,
which is
millions.
another question I had, but I'm just talking about one entry on here,
They owe
one
it.
entry.
Yep,
That's just only talking about that one. And,
Which option?
it's,
The
the
O&M
annual
cost.
O&M costs, option 1 and option 2.
Yep, and,
And it's a difference of 35K.
yep,
And I believe the difference is a lot higher. And that's what I had
so
said.
you think that option 1 is a lot higher? than
No, option 2
or you
is a
think
lot
option
higher.
2 could be
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
higher?
That's a 15% difference, and that's not enough. In my mind, again, I haven't
Yeah.
seen their numbers, they know more than I do. So if they have all those line items down, say this will cost us, then that's fine, but the numbers, it's not like $10,000 or $5,000, it's a big amount of money. So I personally would like to know where they get this number and where they get that number. If it were a small number, it wouldn't make any difference, but it's a sizable number.
Sure they have formulas that they use. but,
Yeah,
I
I'd
mean,
like to, yeah.
I guess if they already have it, but if it,
The thing is, I had asked them when we met for a line item, I think it was on this, it may have been on capital, and they said they didn't have a line item. And
right,
that doesn't
I'm
sound
sure they
right.
have a
Yeah.
formula that they use
must
to
have.
give us an approximate.
Yeah, they've
And
gotta have a
there's nothing,
spreadsheet.
there's-
Anyway, I don't
there's
wanna-
nothing that's a guarantee, but
I agree on that, and typically, as you did, you took conservative, and I assume they did as well. I would hope they did. So I mean, if they put down estimated 240,000 budget, I would hope it's less than that, and that's just
right, I would think that
I would
all of
hope
these.
I'm
are
not gonna
probably
belabor the
conservative.
point, all I'm saying is, I believe personally that number, the difference, not the absolute numbers, but the difference is a lot higher. And I.
A lot, what are you,
Yeah.
what are you saying is a lot?
I think I sent all you guys this. It
I
was,
know, but what's a lot?
It was, I think my estimate was 400 and some K, using
You
the
think,
baseline.
you think some of these,
Yeah,
these
there's a
are,
lot of
these
that.
should be double what they are?
Using the baseline 240 for the option 1,
Yeah,
option 2, I think it came out to, I think it was like 450.
so using the baseline on one option.
Yes,
You summarize that the next option should be some sort of
Yeah.
formula that you have that
Yeah.
would make it
well,
maybe 100,000 more than it actually is.
no, actually more than 100,000, yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter which baseline you use. You can use one baseline and then go down. It doesn't make any difference. But if the analysis of what I did, if there's something basically fundamentally wrong with it, say it's fundamentally wrong. But I don't see it. It's what other people have used.
because this was quite a while ago, and they were questioning how you came up with your flow rates, because these are based on the current flow rates, where Keating's did half, Lancaster did half of the water for the town. That's what they used for their estimated usage to calculate this.
half and half. It was half and half.
Okay.
It was half and half.
So, and I think we need to figure that in when we look at, say, option 3 with all of them together. So you're gonna be taking pieces of it. So the only difference between Hickory Hills and Lancaster and Keating's and Lancaster is that Hickory Hills is much higher iron and manganese, and to me that's
Right, but
backwash
you're-
water.
you're-
To me, I don't see an expense there. But you do have more PFAS in it, and when you start looking at with the Lancaster's rising so much, it's not, Hickory Hills and Lancaster isn't too far off anymore. We're in the 20s to 30, so we're right, we're not that far off anymore. So I don't see a difference. I mean, my pick of 2 of the best wells is, because the hot water is the biggest issue in this town, is, I pick, well, I wouldn't do Lancaster, I'd do Keys and Hickory Hills. If we could mix those two together, we'd be good to go.
I would agree with you to the, except for the fact that I still like your principle of grabbing from every source and.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I wish we could have 5 more sites.
Fran, did you say that Lancaster's PFAS up at 20? Did I mishear?
Yeah, we're starting to fill those too.
Really?
Yeah, well, well, number 5 is the highest producing well in Lancaster. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the last result was at 23.
20.3, no, yeah, it was 23 point something, that,
I
I
thought it
remember
was
I had to
23.
give her the new number.
Yeah, so that one's climbing.
So,
Well,
okay, I just, again.
it's kind of sad. All our highest producing wells
Yeah,
are
those
getting
are the ones that
PFAS.
go, yeah. Yeah, so I just wanted to make that point, I just think that they should.
So this,
I would-
I mean, we can hone this down and get more details, but
Absolutely.
this, you guys need to really, this costs us money.
I don't need more,
I say
I
time
don't need
on,
more
bring us
details. I would need you to maybe just bring up to them to make sure that they are comfortable with their O&M cost estimation. If they're comfortable with their O&M cost estimation, then I don't see the need for them to do more research, unless, I don't see a need to spend more money on it where it's already at that point. I don't, but I don't know how you gentlemen feel.
Okay.
But I do agree that we want true information, like the
Once again,
275
yes,
question mark that's on here, that's cause
Yeah.
I just carried that number.
I don't disagree
Oh.
with you, I agree with you. For the purpose of the survey, I believe that we're in good shape here to send this out. By all means, if we ever had this come in, and when we come to fruition, I'm gonna want some real firm, tightened up, backed up with data numbers of what we will be presenting to the public. So I don't disagree with you, Bill. I have not done the research that you have, which is impressive, but I just want to make sure that, I'm right, when it comes to that time, let's make sure we're comparing apples to apples and everything's the same.
Okay, again, I hate to keep you guys, but I do have a couple other questions. The SRF funding, the question I had sent to you, I think you misinterpreted, it was a question about this year. The spec for last year for the SRF was, you had to have 20 parts per trillion to qualify even to apply for it. Keating was out of it. This year, with the new specs on the PFAS of 4, I'm wondering whether or not the requirement is going to change from DEP for this SRF funding.
From what I'm getting is they're still looking at the 20 as the number.
Oh, they are?
For
For the 6.
Yes, for the 6. So anybody that's 10 or higher that has access to the funding. So there was a couple towns that Ty and Vaughn were working with. They were just under the 10, so they lost the funding. They did new round of sampling. They went over the 10. Boom, they got into the SRF funding. So 10 is that magic number. So that's where Trails gets us hold of it.
So because now Lancaster, do you think they're going to be changing that, or do you have an idea?
No idea.
Okay. Now that Lancaster's so high, would that change the Keating connection to Lancaster as a joint?
Well, Lancaster would probably, it's one well at Lancaster. I'm not sure how they would apply it to all of them. So, I mean, it's kind of if all of them had failed and they were at the 20.
Yeah.
Yes, that would allow the access to the funding.
Then, I had a question, but what's an update on, last time I met with you, we talked about the Keating, and when you and I met, it was about the Keating pilot, about running it for the floor absorb testers.
Floor.
Is the Keating pilot running, the next one, the second one?
No, the floors was all part of all the wells
Yeah.
testing already. So we
Yes.
already know all about it, yes. So we have not done any other pilot testing like we were talking with the
Yeah.
Keatings in Lancaster. Because they watch our meetings too. So they're Derek, the head guy who's in charge of the pilot, he's like, yeah, let us hone this down. So what we did is we backed off pursuing the pilot test for Lancaster and Keatings. They submitted all of Keatings to DEP for them to review. And once they review that, then we're gonna say, what if we tie these two together? And then we're gonna see what is DEP, what do they have for concerns?
Right, I remember reading that.
And it might,
Yes.
they are kind of leaning more to your side, that they don't think it's gonna be a big deal, depending on how we do it.
Sure.
And that was my concern. The pilot test to me was, yeah, the waters can go together, they do now,
Right.
but at what process of how they get together.
What
is how-
reactions may happen to it,
Yes,
right?
that was my concern, so.
Okay.
Well, you got one more, Bill.
God.
One more, Bill.
You're kidding. Line item capital. Yeah, oh gosh, I don't know where to go. On here too, I saw the $6 million increase on the capital costs for the 3 well option. Oh, is that because the plant has to be bigger? Why so much?
The plant, yes, the plant was going to need to be bigger.
Are you talking
Because
option
of the
2 to
water
option
mains?
3? Is that the
yes,
cost? Yeah, to do the water main from Keating's to
Yeah,
Oh, and I added from,
Keating's
Yeah,
to
oh, yeah, from
Lancaster,
Keating's
and then
transmission.
making the plant
A
bigger.
raw water transmission main.
yeah. Why
so
does-
no matter what happens, how this thing, whatever people vote for the treatment plant, that plant's gonna be the size to take care of all of them.
Correct.
We're not gonna build it for this, we're gonna build it for this, cause who knows what the future's gonna bring.
So why is it so much more, $6 million?
Because you have to run the transmission main.
Well,
From
that's also
Keating's.
incorporated in 1 and 2. One has a transmission line, the other 2 has a transmission line, and 3,
That's both, they all.
there's
that's
both,
all-
but it just surprised me it was $6 million. I thought it'd be less than that.
Maybe we'll
Okay.
hope it'll be less,
Well,
but I
then,
mean,
didn't
it-
they
Okay.
pretty much say
I
a
think
million
I think our
something?
estimate was it was 6 million from Hickory Hills to Lancaster, going through the town roads, which
Yeah.
we're trying to sneak through the
Right.
wooded area. And I did speak to that guy again,
Mhm.
and told him we're getting down nitty gritty, let's start finalizing this. Okay, so that was one, and then we used our budget numbers from the MDR project for 12-inch main,
Yeah.
and we used that for the keys, so I think it was $3 or $4 million, I think it was $3 million.
Okay. That new well at Keating, is there an update on that one?
Nope, I haven't heard from the hydrogeologist yet.
Okay.
So when I met Bill down at Keating's to show him how everything, so I brought him out to the well site and to the actual building where we pump it out
Yeah.
there. And when Bill was down there, the hydrogeologist was out there, and we were looking at the test wells.
Mhm.
So Bill got a good rundown of where the test wells are, what we're looking at doing for the future. And then he got a little into the radio communication stuff too while he was there, so he sees a lot of stuff, we learned a lot of stuff at Warrenburg that's
It's good.
different than what you guys see here, so.
I just had one quick one. When Hickory Hills was running, did you have to add caustic to it, like for Keating?
We had,
Remember those years it was running?
we used potassium hydroxide.
You did?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, the tank's still there, and actually, when we did the pilot test, we used that chemical to
And you
raise the
didn't get
pH.
any precipitation from that well?
Nope, yeah, we used that potassium that's been there for years, to do the pilot testing, to raise the pH for the iron and manganese removal.
Okay.
So that's all it's been.
Thank you.
Alrighty, anything else?
Just a motion to adjourn.
Sweet! So move, we're out of here.
Just a minute.